Aldrin is a powerful pesticide that was once widely used to protect crops from insects. But what happens after it's sprayed onto the soil? Aldrin doesn't simply disappear. Through oxidation, it transforms into dieldrin, a compound that is even more toxic and far more persistent in the environment. Instead of breaking down, it lingers in the soil, accumulates in living organisms, and moves through the food chain. How did a chemical designed to protect crops become a long-lasting environmental threat? And what are the consequences of that transformation? Aldrin was first synthesized in 1948 by German chemist Kurt Alder and was later developed commercially by Shell Chemical Company during the pesticide boom that followed World War II. It belonged to the same family of insecticides as DDT and quickly gained popularity because it was highly effective, long-lasting, inexpensive, and stable even in harsh environmental conditions. In the 1950s, stability was seen as a major advantage. Aldrin was widely applied to corn, cotton, and potatoes, and was also used in soil treatments for termites. But that very stability, once celebrated, would later reveal a much darker consequence. When Aldrin is applied to soil, it does not simply disappear. Through oxidation, it transforms into dieldrin, a compound even more persistent and toxic than the original chemical. According to the World Health Organization Environmental Health Criteria 91 and the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry Toxicological Profile, dieldrin can persist in soil for 5 to more than 25 years, depending on climate and microbial activity. Both aldrin and dieldrin are hydrophobic, meaning they bind tightly to soil organic matter. Instead of washing away, they attach to carbon-rich particles and integrate into the biological matrix that supports soil microbes. Research published in Soil Biology and Biochemistry and Applied Microbiology has shown that such chemicals can reduce microbial respiration, inhibit bacterial enzyme activity, and disrupt fungal populations and nitrogen cycling. Because microbes drive carbon turnover, nitrogen fixation, mycorrhizal signaling, and nutrient mineralization, persistent toxins don't just eliminate pests. They stress the soil's biological engine. The soil may still grow crops, but its invisible workforce is altered, affecting long-term resilience. Aldrin is not strongly systemic in plants, yet residues can be absorbed through roots. Studies cited by the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry documented dieldrin residues in root vegetables, uptake in leafy crops, and bioaccumulation in fatty plant tissues. More significantly, when microbial communities shift, nutrient cycling shifts with them. Nitrogen availability can change, mycorrhizal associations may decline, organic matter breakdown can slow, and micronutrient efficiency may decrease. Over time, these subtle disruptions can influence plant stress tolerance, disease resistance, and even nutritional density. The story does not stop at the field. Aldrin and dieldrin are lipophilic, meaning they accumulate in fat tissue and move up the food chain, from soil to plants to livestock, and ultimately to humans. Once inside the body, dieldrin interferes with GABA neurotransmitter signaling in the nervous system. High exposures can cause seizures and neurological toxicity, while chronic low-level exposure raises concerns about bioaccumulation, endocrine disruption, and possible carcinogenicity. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies dieldrin as Group 2B, possibly carcinogenic to humans. A 2001 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives found associations between dieldrin exposure and an increased risk of Parkinson's disease. Because these compounds bioaccumulate, residues were frequently detected in meat, dairy, fish, and even human breast milk in exposed populations. A soil insecticide had become a long-term neurological concern. The United States banned Aldrin in 1974, and it is now listed under the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants as a banned persistent organic pollutant. Yet decades later, residues can still be detected in soils around the world. Aldrin left agriculture with a clear lesson. Effectiveness without degradability is dangerous. When we talk about soil health and regenerative farming today, we do so in the shadow of chemicals like Aldrin. Reminders that soil is not just a medium, but a living system that remembers what we apply to it. Drops of Balance has been proven to reduce detectable levels of Aldrin in water by 79.1% within the first 48 hours. By enhancing carbon binding in soil, it helps stabilize the compound, reducing its water solubility and limiting plant uptake, thereby lowering the risk of bioaccumulation in crops, livestock, and ultimately the human food chain. Use code SAFECLEANWATER for 10% off.